That's interesting because strange fire is like, it sounds like it's the Bodhizora, and you asked before if yoga was a Bodhizora, and if you had given me that background that you felt like that, then I would say, well, maybe there's something in there just because you feel like that.
Exactly. I don't always want to like confess everything to you and like, get the Musa lecture. Sometimes I think I'm going to soft pedal this. I'm just going to present it as like, oh, it's just some nice stretching.
All right, because like if you had said to me, I go there just to look at, if I go there just to look at women's butts,
right? I'd never phrase it like that.
I might have had a different, thing to say. Okay, go ahead.
So, when Moses and Aaron bless the people, what does it mean and what use is it?
Moses and Aaron blessed the people that God should come down and show himself in the Shekhinah. And he should come down to this world.
Whether or not you like an airline or a hotel depends largely upon your interaction with the people who work for the airline or the hotel. So to those people's opinions about God or about Jews or about Christians or about Muslims, most influenced by their interactions with people who claim to represent God or to be representative of Jews or Christians or Muslims. So God is made holy by those who act in his name. So if you're going to say, hey, I'm a Jew, you better act like it, or you're going to make Jews and God look bad.
Do you really believe that?
Yeah.
Okay, because I'll tell you like this. If I picked, like, my religious observance, or whatever you want to call it, right? Based on who's friendly to me, I would never be a frum Jew. Because, like, my experience with the frum community has been horrible, right? But I only stay with it because I know it's the truth. Because it's the truth. I'm more of the book person, right? I go by what's in the books.
Right.
I'm
not normal.
I follow Torah because of what the Torah says. If left to just the community, I'd be out of here like a bat out of Gehenna. So that for me that doesn't work.
Right. But do you think most people are like that?
I can't answer. I don't know.
Well, you're lucky you got me
to be the moral leader.
Yeah, and keep you informed on what's going on.
Thank you for that. Yeah, that's why I read your blog.
Exactly. Eating shellfish is detestable for a Jew, according to Torah. It's often translated in English as abomination, but it's not the same Hebrew word for abomination that is given to the male homosexual act. That's to'eva, and so that's really abomination. Also,
well, okay. So what are the two words?
I've forgotten the one.
That's why you should have written it out so that everybody can see. Because now I have to look them. I was looking them up, and I just saw it right before you walked in the door. One's to'eva.
Yeah, which is for.
Do you have a pasuk?
Well, it's the Leviticus pasuk about don't bugger men, and then.
But isn't the shellfish also in Leviticus here?
Yeah, it's also in Leviticus, maybe in 11, somewhere in chapter 11. But again, it's not the same word. It's not the really abominable abomination. And second, it says to you it's an abomination, to you the Jews. But the male homosexual act, it's not said to you. That's a universal prohibition. So non-Jews can eat shellfish till the cows come home, but they can't have sexual stuff going on with the same sex. So Jews are forbidden from both shellfish, pork, and the like, as well as buggering their own sex. So,
can you show me which pasuk you're talking about? Because I got to see this.
I'll get back to you. So, sports fans,
I gotta see it from the inside.
Well, just find the prohibition on seafood, shellfish, that sort of crap.
Okay.
And see the word that they use for abomination, and it's not the same as the word used for abomination for the male homosexual act. And again, the male homosexual act is prohibited for all humanity. Shellfish is prohibited only to Jews. And on a related note, the sacrificial system kind of forms the basis for Christianity because God had to send his son to die on a cross. This is the Christian take on the sacrificial system. Yet the sacrificial system is given solely to Jews. So why do Christians take the sacrificial system in the book of Leviticus seriously, but ignore the Jewish dietary laws, which are similarly given solely to Jews to observe? Now, you often hear the saying, oh, don't take things too seriously. That's the opposite of the Torah view. You study Torah, you find more and more of life that you have to take seriously until it just like drives you crazy and you just want to kick back on the couch and have a comely shiksa lie on top of you and like, you know, and drown your sorrows in her sweet juices. Often they like have these scents that are like of the tropics, they smell of the tropics, or they smell of a rainforest, or they just smell of some, you know, Parisian brothel. And there are time for all these perfumes. But anyway, the point is, the more you study Torah, the more you do Judaism. Like, let's say you don't make it to shul all week. This is after me. I don't make it to shul all week. Maybe sometimes I don't even make it to shul for 2 weeks. And I get to shul, and I go into shul. And then when I get to shul, there are all these talks about, okay, we've got a class here, and I need people to help out with this, and we've got this going on Sunday, and can someone help so-and-so? And it's like, they just like pull you in deeper and deeper and deeper, just like sucks more and more of your time. So too, like the more you study Torah, it's not like, oh, okay, I'm going to watch what I eat now and I'll keep Shabbos, but then I'll just, you know, go my own way. No, like the more you study Torah, the more of life. They keep saying, okay, you got to take this seriously. You got to say a bracha before you eat an orange. You got to say a bracha before you have any water. You got to say a bracha after you come out of the bathroom. You got to treat your parents respectfully. You have to be honest in business. You can't cheat on your tests at school. You can't go bang shiksas. You can't dance with women. You can't listen to live music during the Sefira, or maybe any music during the Sefira. Like, there's more and more of life, just like from music to shiksas to food to how you treat your parents to how you spend your money. And like, the Torah just keeps taking more and more of life seriously. So the more you study of life, just the more you study Torah, just like kind of like piles burden after burden after burden. And you say, the more Toradic the person, the more seriously they take life. Like generally speaking, Jewish comics are secular. It's very rare that you find an Orthodox Jew, like a serious Orthodox Jew who's a comic. Very, very rare. So generally speaking, the more seriously a Jew takes Torah, the more seriously they take life, the less likely they are to like, you know, be making jokes all the time and to la-di-da-di-da, isn't this grand, what a comely shiksa, I wish he'd sit on my face. You don't tend to find that in the traditional Jewish community. Baruch Hashem.
Okay, is it this pasuk here, Kol Asher Ein Lo Sniper B'Kas Keses B'Mayim Sheketzu Lachem?
Maybe.
Everything that doesn't have fins and scales in the water, that should be for you a sheket.
Yeah. That's it.
So shekets is not toeva. That's your point.
Yeah.
It's two different words.
Yeah.
Whoever thought they were the same?
Because they're often translated in English. It's
I
abomination.
hate English translations.
And you'll often get these mass emails like, oh, so the Bible says that homosexuality is an abomination? Well, the Bible says that eating shellfish is an abomination too. So how can we take the Bible seriously?
Because there
are different levels of abomination, and one's a prohibition for Jews, one's a prohibition for all humanity.
Hold on, it's an epic fail, right? Because the first thing is, right, it's an epic fail. Oh my God, there's so many levels here of fail. The first fail is the Bible was never written in English, right? Yeah. The Bible is the written Torah, right?
Yeah.
And
keep going with your point.
This guy has 11. You had the chat room window blocked the whole time. We didn't see it.
I didn't have it blocked.
It wasn't up on the thing, and this guy's there screaming, "Hey, it's 11:9:11!" I'm sitting there like flipping like an asshole through this. I found it, but it's the word sheket versus the word toeva. And who would ever think that he was talking about? I didn't know what you were talking about, to be honest. I had to see the pasuk. Okay, I would never have translated that as abomination, because why would I think that's talking about it? So I wanted to go see what the lashon over there was. A sheketz is a description, it's a type of critter that we're not allowed to eat, right? Mm-hmm. So there's epic fail here. The first fail is the Bible was not written in English, right? The Bible is a stupid translation, if you will, like the English translation of the Torah, which is written in Lashon Kodesh, which is written in the holy language, which is Hebrew, right?
Right.
In Hebrew, right, if you're going to accept that the Torah, that the written Torah is in Hebrew, then you also have to accept, right, that it was written by God, right, and then he also gave an oral Torah along with it. So to take it out of context and to point to the Bible as anything, I already my head is ready to explode
Mhm.
because